and welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Chris Hefner. I'm the Director of Library Media Services. And I've been invited here tonight to talk about the selection and reconsideration process for books in our school libraries. So thank you very much for having me. Is it gonna? There we go. Well, first off, let me start by saying that it's the Board of Education's policies that define how materials are selected for our school libraries. It is the job of the certified librarian to use the board's selection criteria to choose high quality and age appropriate books for each of our school libraries. Book selection is a building-based process, and what that means is that none of our school libraries have identical collections. School librarians are specially trained and certified to understand collection development. Each of our school librarians take a minimum of 30 hours of graduate coursework to earn their library certification. And they are trained to evaluate new books and to tailor their collections to the needs and the interests of their individual school community. LPS also makes sure that all of our librarians have access to professional resources and professional reviews so that they can make good, informed selection decisions for each one of their libraries. The full process for selection and reconsideration is available on our LPS Library Services webpage. This is available for every community member to access and review. But it's important to know that the selection and reconsideration process is informed by specifically three LPS school board policies. The policy for the criteria and selection of curriculum materials, the policy for objections to the use of curriculum materials, and the policy for controversial issues. When our school librarians select books for our libraries, they are seeking out books that meet a whole host of criteria. The LPS selection of materials process includes 18 criteria points for selection. For example, we seek out materials that enable students to make informed decisions about their daily lives, books that reflect a variety of views on a variety of issues, books that represent many religions, ethnic groups, and cultural groups, and books that are appropriate for the age and maturity of the students that we serve. Because we are a source of so many ideas and perspectives, we know that not every student, not every caregiver or community member will agree or align with the content in all of the books in all of our library collections. However, parents and guardians may always request that a specific print title be restricted from their own child. Also, a parent or guardian can always request that their child's access to ebooks be limited. Should a caregiver or community member feel strongly that a specific title be removed from our collections, we have a very defined reconsideration process. That process starts with hopefully a conversation with me. It's always best, I believe, to have that discussion about those initial concerns so we can learn more about those concerns. Should the community member want to request that title be removed from our collections, they would submit a request for reconsideration form, and that is available from the Office of the Associate Superintendent for Instruction. Once that request is submitted, we convene a review advisory committee that consists of community members, parents, teachers, school administrators, school librarians, and that committee reads the title from cover to cover, and then we meet to discuss in length the concerns about the book, but also any potential merits that that book may have as well. The committee shares their findings with the Associate Superintendent of Instruction, who makes a decision and notifies the community member or the person that submitted their concern. If they wish for that decision to be appealed, the Student Learning and Technology Committee will further review that title and the recommendations of the committee, and will make a final recommendation to the board. Our selection and reconsideration process is always available for community members to access. In addition, any community member can see every asset in our library collections using our LPS online catalog. And as always, we always hope that anyone who is concerned or has questions or needs assistance accessing either the reconsideration process or the online catalog, that they reach out to Library Services for that assistance. We are really, really proud of the quality of library collections we have in Lincoln Public Schools. And I can assure you that our school librarians are experts who work really hard to make sure our students have access to the very best books and resources available. Thank you. Are there any questions from the board?
Mrs. Danik?
So can you go through the process if a parent wants to restrict their child from accessing a book? Because I like our process, that restricting your own child but not somebody else's, that's up to their parent. So can you walk through that for me,
Absolutely.
please?
That's a matter of reaching out to the school librarian, and the librarian then can make a notation on that child's digital record in the library management system and make sure that that title is not checked out.
But that doesn't stop them from going to the public library and getting that book, correct?
That is true.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Mr. Boswell?
First, I want to say thank you for the presentation tonight and for presenting the same information to the Student Learning Technology Committee a few weeks ago. If a teacher has a book that they would like to see in the library, or a student, what's the process that they would go through to get a book added?
Absolutely, that happens frequently because we want our collections tailored to the needs of our teachers and our students. And so it's a simple conversation with our school librarian, who would then review that book and look at professional reviews and read selections from it and decide if it meets the selection criteria laid out in our process.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Byer?
Do you ever accept donated books from community members?
We do at times, although they also have to meet our selection criteria. And we have an additional list of criteria to make sure that they are, for instance, library quality, in new shape, and that they meet the needs of the school community. So we have maybe some additional considerations for donations.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions or comments? Seeing none, Dr. Hefner, thank you for the presentation. I know that we've had some folks in the community who have been concerned about books in the libraries, and it's good to have a review like this so people can see there is quite a bit of process before selecting the books, but also have parents have options for their kids if there's material that they feel that they don't want their kids exposed to. And there is, of course, a process for parents to follow for a review for that. So hopefully that'll be good information for folks in the community that have any concerns. And so with that, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Next.